The 2000s. What an era. See, the 90s teen slashers were going out the window. They didn't really fit in anymore. Movies like 28 Days Later were using handheld cameras to shoot everything. Movies like Saw were showing what a low budget could do to lead to creativity. And this 2008 movie was released between Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Kung Fu Panda. It did well at the box office, but it didn't really set the world on fire to Joe Blow on the street. Let's dig into The Strangers. Brian Bertino sold his script to Universal, called The Faces. Universal handed the script off to a subsidiary, Rogue Pictures. Rogue Pictures couldn't really find a director, so they offered it back to Bertino, and he decided that he would direct it. He wrote the lead with Liv Tyler in mind, but Charlize Theron and Thendaway Newton, I pray I pronounced that correctly, were both circling the role.
What you are about to see is inspired by true events.
Oh yeah, inspired by true events. The true event in question here is the fact that Bertino was a kid at home. Somebody came, knocked on the door, and asked for somebody who didn't live there. Later, they found out that somebody was going around doing that to the houses. If nobody answered the door, the house would get broken into. Hello, my name is Elder Price. They're gonna keep making these goddamn underworld movies. Christian and James are coming back from a wedding, and we don't know exactly what happened yet, but the mood between them is really sour. As the beginning goes on, we figure out that he asked her to marry him, and she turned him down. The house is full of candles and rose petals and champagne, and it creates kind of an awkward mood between the two. You can tell that there's still love there, but James leaves a voicemail to his buddy Mike, asking Mike to come get him. Liv Tyler is so good in this. She is effortlessly beautiful and captivating, and you feel the emotions of the character throughout. Scott Speedman is very handsome, and he plays his part well as well. But he has a little bit more of a showier part in the beginning. He's wearing his emotions a little more on his sleeve, whereas Liv Tyler is more internalizing everything. The handheld cameras in this really make it feel like we're watching something real. However, the use of name actors and the polish kind of defeats the whole immersion of the movie. Despite the events of the evening so far, the two still do care about each other, and, well, one thing leads to another. They start to have sex, or they're going to, but they get interrupted by a knock at the door. There's a woman there, and
Is Tamara here?
No.
we can't really make out any of the woman's features in the dark. James leaves to get Kristen some cigarettes, and the fun begins. The movie is good about setting a tone and letting us get a feel of these two characters before anything really starts happening. However, we still really don't know anything about these characters. We don't know what they do for a living, how old they necessarily are, their histories. Kristen gets another knock at the door and notices that the flue on the fireplace is shut. Another knock at the door, and she's going for the phone. She is on the phone with James when the phone line gets cut. She is freaking out at this point. She hears noises, and she's pretty sure somebody is in the house, but she hasn't seen anybody in there yet. She hears a noise outside, and she opens the blinds. James comes home, finds Kristen cowering in a corner with a knife. They go looking around the house, but they don't find anybody. They don't even notice that her cell phone is in the fireplace burning. They see the person outside known as Dollface, but when they look again, she's gone. James goes outside and sees that the car is smashed up. Strangers had nothing to do with that. He just got in like multiple wrecks on the way home. He sees Dollface and threatens her, but nothing happens. The two are effectively trapped at this house. James grabs a gun. They go into another room and grab all the shotgun shells that they can. And they notice that hello is written on a window on the inside of the house. It's wild to go back to this period in film. There are cell phones, there's big ass CRT monitors and stuff like that. This is an era when smartphones were just coming out, where you had to be super rich to have an iPhone. And so you still had flip phones that worked, but they weren't the greatest. A Jeep pulls up and it's Mike. Mike is here to pick up James. But a brick hits Mike's windshield, so he goes into the house to investigate. You know, because of the implication. Mike is looking all over. He sees busted glass, and he's kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? And he rounds a corner and gets shot in the face. James goes to investigate something outside, and he sees a message on the sliding door. The strangers had nothing to do with that. Peter was just mad that they had meat for dinner. James gets attacked by the man in the mask, and a gunshot goes off. Kristen has no idea what's actually happening at all. She's sitting outside waiting for any sign of James. Kristen goes running and falls. And as she's crawling on the ground, Pinup Doll appears behind her. Kristen has no idea that she's there. And when she looks back, Pinup Doll is gone. Kristen gets to the barn, finds a CB radio, but can't really get a hold of anybody. Pinup Doll appears and smashes the radio. At this point, we've seen 3 people in masks. We don't know how many there actually are. There could be more of them that are wearing the same masks and dressed the same way. This could account for how fast some of them seem to be moving. Kristen gets back to the house and hides in a closet. She sees the man in the mask, and it appears that he's looking at her. And the film never really answers. Does he actually see her or not? I think he does, and he is just fucking with her. She is eventually grabbed, dragged off screen, and she wakes up tied in a chair next to James. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. She was wearing her regular clothes, and now she's in her nightgown again. Ew, 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 ew. The 3 strangers stand in front of them, and Kristen asks for the millionth time, why are you doing this? Dollface gives the most chilling answer she can.
Because you were home.
Yeah. The strangers remove their masks, signifying it's over for you guys. They take turns stabbing James, and then they start stabbing Kristen. The movie then cuts to the 3 strangers in their truck driving down the road. They come across the missionary boys from the beginning. The missionary boys come inside, and they find James dead and Kristen still alive. The movie ends. There's a lot of things that do work with this movie. This has a great setup. It uses its beginning well. There's also a lot of things that don't work with this movie. There's not a real flow to it. Things just kind of happen at a point. There's not this happened and so this happens. It's more this happened and then this happened and then this happened. And I think that really kind of hurts the movie. It's bleak. It is not one that is fun to revisit. It's not an enjoyable film. It is scary if you are in that kind of mood. Imagine it, alone in your house at night. Everything's dark and you're watching this. It'd be kind of scary to go to bed that night. The movie did really well, and a sequel was ordered immediately, but it would take a decade to come out. The design of the 3 killers is instantly iconic. The idea was that these people could get these costumes from anywhere, these masks from anywhere. The man in the mask definitely takes his design from The Town That Dreaded Sundown. The other 2 wear plastic masks that look straight out like the 50s. There is something to be said about a plain white mask for the killer. you can use it and have it just suddenly appear in the background. You don't need details, just that blob of white. That's scary. Movie did manage to spawn a franchise, and we're going to be looking at that while we wait for the 4th/2nd movie. Reboots are fun. Like, share, subscribe, hit the buttons to do the things, and comment below. Have you seen this? Did you like it? What other things do you want to see me cover?